Hey everyone, this is Josh Silver from Pulse Energy, and I wanted to hop on our little podcast here so I can introduce you all to somebody that has an amazing success story with the Pulse Energy PEMF. I don't want to spend too much time talking from my end and sort of hogging the limelight. So let me just take a minute to introduce you guys to somebody that's very special, that has an amazing story about concussions and really the reason that we use Pulse Energy PEMF consistently as opposed to one treatment or one session one time hoping that it works. So if I can turn the microphone over to Jana, who has had the machine now a year and a half?
No, almost
2 years. That my mind froze for a second because COVID obviously affects it. But yeah, it's like a year and a half. So give me in your words, Jana, exactly what happened to you, exactly what you did with the machine. Don't let me sort of guide you. I want to hear in your words what happened, because when we talked about a year ago, you're 6 months ago, your story blew me away, and I've been telling it nonstop.
I ride horses. I do it for pleasure and for a living. And anyone that rides horses or does sports or anything knows that we can fall off our bike, we can get a sports injury. Unfortunately, I fell off my horse wearing a helmet about 15 years ago. And I had another more recent concussion about 3 years ago that really sent me downhill. My friends and family thought that I might be suffering from MS. I started having numbness in my extremities to the point where I had a hard time holding things. I started having difficulty walking, extreme difficulty concentrating. I couldn't work. I had to stop working. After being pulled over from a police officer that was following me for 10 minutes and I didn't notice, I realized I had horrible dementia symptoms. I'm 42 and I didn't expect, these symptoms. And I realized that it was after seeing 2 neurologists, I realized that it was caused by my concussion. Had traumatic brain injury. I had 2 specialists look at my MRI and SPECT scan and said I have severe hypoperfusion, lack of brain perfusion to the brain, frontal lobe damage, which was causing my extreme difficulties in walking, talking, speech, memory. I couldn't close my eyes. I'd fall over to the point of, even sadly having incontinence issues. It was very embarrassing. So I was actually doing the PEMF for my horse because it was very successful in treating his ulcers. I couldn't find anything else. I spent thousands of dollars, and the PEMF that a friend of mine owned, the Pulsed Energy Technologies machine, was having an excellent success with horses and humans as well. So she said, and I also had horrible headaches, and she said, let's just try a treatment. Let's see how you feel. And I was like, okay, yeah, it's worth a shot. I mean, I was at a point where it was helping my horse and there was nothing left to lose. Again, I was in such a brain fog. I couldn't even drive myself. So after my first treatment, I felt significant difference in the level of brain fog that I was having and the headaches. The headache was lifted, but it was a short period of time, but it helped. It was the first thing that helped. So I went back to her and started doing, treatments more regularly and noticing a difference with it. I went back to my neurologist and they retested me on some of these gait analysis, memory, testing me with my walking and my gait and my stance and speech impairment. And I was so it was amazing. So I decided to contact you and buy my own machine, because why not? It was helping me. So
how long in between
from then on, I
the injury? I just want to know how long in between the injury to trying the PEMF was that? How long of a time frame was that?
So my first injury where I had flight for life, was unconscious for days, was about 15 years ago. So I
Sure.
had one really bad concussion. And then as I've learned now with concussions, I had two more concussions
It's impact. Yeah.
within, the last one was 2 years before I tried the machine. So it was 2 years of just degenerating, going downhill,
Gotcha.
trying to compensate, and then realizing that, wow, this is bad. So it was
The,
about
re-
2 years.
the reason I ask that is because I know there'll be people out there that'll say, okay, well, yeah, but maybe she used the machine right after. Mine happened 10 years ago. It's not going to work for me, or 5 years ago. I wanted people to understand that there was some space in between where this degeneration occurred to
Yeah,
when you got the machine.
absolutely. Yeah, there was a long period of time, and then I got another concussion, and then another concussion. Again, yes, I'm still riding horses. I'm just safe about it. And so then I decided to buy my own machine.
Yep.
And did some research from talking with Josh, with you, and with reading studies on the possibility of it helping me. And I read that doing this treatment, and you also said doing this treatment about 4 times a week for about 20 minutes on my head was going to be kind of the starting point. So I started basically treating myself about every 2 or 3 days, and building on that, getting to a point after about, so I did about 2 to 3 days for it was about 6 weeks,
Okay.
or 8 weeks, and I was, each time I did it, it was like removing those layers of fog. I was getting a little bit closer to back to myself again. I was able to get out of bed again, able to walk around, able to start to talk without saying the wrong words. I mean, I was saying like weird stuff. I was saying, can I get the dog in the freezer? And no,
Sure.
that's not what I meant, and I started, my speech was improving. Another big improvement was, that I forgot to mention, is I was very depressed and angry. And I think a lot of people don't realize with head injuries, there's a lot of, your amygdala is actually affected, and it's affected adversely, that it causes anger outbursts. It causes severe depression and fatigue that goes along with a brain injury. And my husband started calling it my happy machine, because I started becoming happier and more
That's
motivated.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's great.
that was one of the, it was just, I mean, I was so overwhelmed with the positive effects of it. And after about 6 weeks, I really started thinking, wow, I'm gonna come back. I mean, I thought I was just circling the drain, and I started just feeling better, and I was able to back off the treatments to about 3 times a week, and then I started getting really excited about how it's helped me so much that I started bringing in friends and family and going, you got to try this thing. This is absolutely amazing. Doing the research, buying books, and now, as you may know, I decided, as I've seen significant changes in friends and family, I've now started a business, and I feel amazing. And that's what I do. And I just use my machine as kind of a recharge. And I'm now functioning at probably 95% of where I was before. I have to say, I do have times when I get tired and I forget words, and I think everybody does that. But I went from pretty much bedridden to owning my own business, doing PEMF, and seeing people in my life change and for the better, just because of PEMF. It's been phenomenal.
I mean, it's awesome to hear. It really is so awesome to hear this. And I sit here and I smile because I heard the term before, circling the drain. I've heard that from a few people, and it's not a good place to be. And to hear you come back from that and literally the term bouncing back from hitting something and going in the opposite direction. That is what has happened to you, is you went from one end to the other and you are going back up. And it's so awesome to hear, because right, it works. It's helping you, and now you're taking that help and you're able to share that with others, and you're able to take the ball and pass it on. And I want to tell you something that I haven't told you yet before in our conversations. So how I got involved with this technology is I started working in the pro sports teams, right? And a lot of the treatments that I've done, a lot of the sessions over the years, isn't for the famous pro 25-year-old kid that's playing that everybody sees on TV. It's the 55-year-old former player that, before there was proper safety equipment, took blows to the head repeatedly for 12 years. And now a lot of the same things that you just talked about here have manifested to themselves. And a lot of them experience something in the same way that you did, where their life is it's you've reversed the clock. You've gone back to where it is, where hope has been given. And I want people to be able to sort of see that this isn't a sports machine, this is a life machine. And that's why it was so important to do this, because people think, oh, well, it's going to work on some pro football player because it was a pro football player. No, that has nothing to do with it. It has everything to do with believing the machine, using it the right way, being consistent. And ultimately, the best part about this story to me is that you are back to a point where you're paying it forward and you're helping others. I mean, to me, that's remarkable. Anything else that you want to share with anybody that you want to tell?
I do. I just love to say that everybody, I mean, I've been able to help people with Parkinson's disease that were using walkers and couldn't sleep at night and their legs wouldn't work, to literally, she's thrown away the walker and she's in Las Vegas, one of my clients. People that were suicidal, teens that have a job now and are doing wonderfully in life, went back to school. I've had a woman that could hardly walk because of her back pain that is now lost weight and able to get her life back. I mean, I've just seen so many people that just absolutely, for anxiety, not just for pain and sports injury, but for a level of mental clarity, anxiety. I have a man that I was telling you before we got on the air that he is an attorney and he has all the money in the world. He has gone all over trying to get treatments and Botox and treatments for his neck injury and his vertigo and his sleep disorder. One treatment, and he slept like a baby that night. Awesome. And I'm not saying that's gonna, he's every week. So he needs it every week. And he's now got his own machine. But he's like, he has spent thousands on trying to heal what we were able to accomplish with the PEMF. And it's just amazing seeing lives change for the better. And I think there's just so many avenues that it can help you and prevent injury and prevent the aging process. It's just absolutely amazing.
So I have one more question for you, because I feel like I already know the answer, because, like, it takes a while to use the PEMF to get into what I call the zone. And you were in the zone, like you were right there in what I call the zone. Like you were getting the results, you were seeing it on yourself. Like you are where it's at in terms of PEMF. So this is what I want to ask you. I have found over the years that a lot of the times when I'm either at an event or a show or giving treatments at a practitioner's office, somebody will come in and they will say, oh yeah, but I've got such and such condition. I've got this bad tennis elbow. I've got this, and they look down like this machine isn't going to work. And you smile at them, not laugh, but smile at them. And they're like, oh, but I have this and this, and you're like, and it's not in a cavalier way, but you already know something that they don't know, right? It's almost like you already know. Wait till we have this conversation in 2 weeks. Am I right? Do you have a feeling like that sometimes when people come in with what they're saying? Hey, this is what's wrong, and you smile at them, knowing I'm already going to fix you. I'm already going to help you. I already know this machine is going to make a difference. Do you run into that at all?
Oh yeah. Like I'll be talking with one person and they'll go, well, I've got this horrible, I've had plantar fasciitis my whole life. I've had it for umpteen years. And I'm like, well, let's just try. Let's just see, or this shoulder that I can't heal. I mean, I've been to physical therapy, I've done this, and they try it and they're like, wow, this is amazing. Or the wound that won't heal, the actual, physical wound, So I have had many people that are very skeptical that are now referring people going, you've got to try this. It helped me with this and it helped me with that. So, or they'll call me up and they'll go, does it help with this? And I said, well, if it assists the body in doing what it does naturally. So if your body can do it, the PMF is just going to accelerate that and help it. Oh yeah.
A lot of times the biggest doubters end up becoming our biggest believers, which is great. They go from the biggest critics to the biggest proponents, and I'll take that every day of the week.
Absolutely. And you probably know that, I work on horses as well. So I'm a big, in the equestrian world, I go to barns and I work on not just horse athletes, but horses to prevent further injury. And we've seen things that modern medicine couldn't fix. I've seen neurologic conditions that modern medicine couldn't fix. And in horses, my cat, our dogs, arthritis, I mean, you name it. I mean, there's studies coming out all the time on how PEMF can heal cartilage and osteoarthritis and change the pain pathways. And it's just amazing. So it's endless.
I'm with you on that. So the real question is how long until everybody knows about it, right? Because nobody knows about it, and that's going to be end up the real thing is when does it get out to the masses? And my hope is that at some point within my lifetime, we'll see it as maybe a common household appliance. You move into a place and you get your refrigerator and you get your television set and then you get your home therapy kit and that's your PEMF machine. That would be pretty cool. Something like that in the future.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope so.
Thank you for all of the time.
We throw away a lot of drugs after we start using more PEMF for sure.
Yes.
Not that I'm against modern medicine, but yeah.
A lot of the times, and I'm sure you've seen this in your treatment, and thank you for bringing this up. It's this, right? It's not just do one thing. It's a combination of 2 or 3 things that the person is doing, and the PEMF drives the other stuff. I don't know if you have patients that do nutrition, that do oxygen therapy, that do any sort of additional adjunct therapy, but a lot of the times, if that's when the true results come in, is when we take the PEMF and we mix it with something else. So in any event, thanks for all the time. I appreciate you sharing your story with everybody.